I built this app from scratch using AI and it's live right now with real database, real authentication, and real users who can sign up today. It tracks your active subscriptions and shows you exactly which ones to cancel. 3 years ago, this didn't exist. No code, no design, and I didn't even know what to build yet. I gave an AI agent a vague direction, and it researched the market, picked the idea, analyzed competitors, wrote every line of code, and deployed it. And I just simply talked to it. Lovable, Bolt, Cursor, they are all great at generating code. But building is step 4 out of 8. Before you write a single line, there's step 1 for idea validation. Is this worth building? Is there a real demand? Or are you just excited? Step 2 is market research. How big is the market? Who's already here? And what do they charge? Step 3 is competitive intelligence. What are they actually doing right now? Then steps 4 through 6, that's the build, architecture, design, and integrations. And then steps 7 and 8 are security, compliance, and deployment. Most vibe coding tools handle steps 4 and 5, maybe 6. But what about the other 5? And that's where Rocket.new comes into the picture. And this video is brought to you by them. Rocket just launched 1.0. They are calling it the world's first vibe solutioning platform. So, what exactly is that? Vibe coding starts at execution. It assumes you already know what to build, whereas vibe solutioning starts before it. You describe the problem, the platform scopes it, researches it, and carries that context into everything that follows. It helps you figure out what's worth building before you write a single line. So, this is what most vibe coding tools cover. Only steps 4 and 5 out of 8. And this is what Rocket 1.0 covers, all 8 layers in the pipeline. And it does it with 3 tools: solve, track, and build. Solve is their research layer, which validates whether this idea should even exist, who is the real competition, and what does the data actually say. Track is for competitive intelligence. It analyzes and monitors your competitors and finds out what exactly are they doing right now. And third is build. This is the feature that builds your app. It writes code, designs everything, connects database, and finishes the deployment. TechCrunch described their research layer as McKinsey style reports at a fraction of the cost. I'll run the entire pipeline live and let's see if that's true. Now, this is how the Rocket.new dashboard looks like. On the left side, we have a tab for projects where we can see all of our projects. Let's click on new project, give it a name as subscription tracker, and let's create it. From here on, every piece of research, every build I run lives inside this one project. And nothing gets lost, nothing gets re explained. And every task I open next will know about every task that came before it. And this context compounds over the period of time. This is where we can add additional context for this project by selecting files from our local device, from Google Drive or Notion. Below the chat box, we can see the 2 tools, solve and build. Let's start with solve to answer the most important question. Should this idea even exist? So I'm giving it this prompt. I'm asking it, should I build an AI-powered subscription tracker? Which specific user segment should I target? What's the real addressable waste amount? Who are the actual competitors? Which geographical markets I should target? And 90-day plan for the first paying users. Now this will take a good amount of time. I think more than 30 minutes. I'll be back once it's done. Alright, so this is done and this is the report it has generated. And there are a couple of important findings. First one is the assumption that I gave it, $200 to $300 wasted per month, it was wrong. The actual recoverable waste is $17 to $33, and that changes the entire business model. Second finding is I told it the competitors were Rocket Money, Trim, and Pine AI. Those are not the real competitors. The actual competitive set is MIApp, Pocket Guard, and Bobby. And this is the third one I didn't see coming at all. I did the geographic analysis and it said US is saturated and UK is where I should be targeting. It has given the 5 market comparison table, 2 with high entry opportunity, 1 with government built infrastructure with exactly this use case. Next, fourth finding. It says the budget conscious users have 4.2% 30-day retention. And the user most desperate to stop wasting money is the least likely to keep using the tool. But to summarize, it tells you where to build, who to target, and what could kill the category before you launch. Now, knowing the real competitors is good, but it's not enough. We need to know what they are doing right now. And that's where their next tool, Track, comes into the picture. On the left hand side, we can find this tab called Intelligence. Once we click on this, it will start onboarding workflow. We can enter our business URL, click next. And now this is where we can add all of our competitors' URLs. And Rocket will read everything they publish on website, social media, ads, reviews, press, hiring, etc. For now, I'll add 2 competitors and let's approve the plan. And this is complete. On the left side, we can select our competitor and this is their in-depth report. This is the overview tab. This is their estimated revenue, couple of key insights, GTM campaigns, traffic, website changes, social media engagements, news articles, reviews, and a couple of key signals over here. Then we have data coverage and activity heat map. And then all of these tabs contains much more detailed data. For example, in website intelligence, you can find all of their pricing changes, the blog and content they have published, legal and compliance posture, etc. Similarly, in news and media, we can see all the articles, the overall sentiment, and the top articles featuring them. I'll not go through all of these tabs because that would be too much. Similarly, this is the report for Rocket Money. And if we just click on Intelligence tab, this will take us to a summary page that contains a lot of insights across various companies. And it gives us 360-degree view of our competitors. Now we know market, we know competitors, we know the UK gap, and now it's time to build the actual product. Now there are a couple of pre-made templates that you can explore. If you start with one of these templates, it will basically save you a lot of tokens. And then you can make changes on top of these templates. I'm going to start from scratch. So I'll go to projects, I'll select my project, then click on build. And now I can start my chat over here. And I'll give it this prompt. I want to build a subscription tracker web app based on the market research and competitive positioning from this project. I want it to include user authentication with sign up and login, a dashboard showing all the active subscriptions with monthly and yearly costs. I want it to be modern, mobile responsive, and visually clean. Let's enter. All right, so it has found a couple of similar templates that we saw earlier. For now, I'll continue without a template. All right, so this is done. It took around 10 minutes. It has set up the initial credentials with this email and this password that we can use to log in. At the top, we have the list of all the views that it has created. Then we have these 3 dots over here. If we click on that, we can click on code to look at all the files it has created so far. We can click on preview to switch back to our previous view. And we can click on edit button at the top and click on visual edits. And we can directly edit the text on this page. And that will save you tokens. We can also make changes to the theme. We can select the colors of our choice from here. And now let's look at all the views and pages it has created. So I'll copy the email from here, paste it over here, and enter the password and sign in. Now let's enter the full screen by clicking on this button at the top. And now this is how the dashboard looks like. Everything is very neatly arranged. We have the summary of monthly burn rate, annual commitment, what's due in 7 days, estimated waste, monthly burn trend, spend by category, and the list of upcoming renewals and all the active subscriptions. We have one tab for add subscription. This is where we can add a new subscription, add the website, the billing details, amount per month, renewal date, etc. And set the reminders on when we want to be notified before the next renewal. Next, we have renewal calendar, and this is where we can visually see the subscriptions and when they are scheduled to renew. Next, we have savings discovery, and this is where it will give some ideas on how to save money on subscriptions which are not in use. And finally, we have settings, which contains our profile, preferences, notifications, security, where we can enable 2-factor authentication and change the password, and danger zone, where we can delete the account. One thing that needs to be fixed is the icons for all of these tabs. Right now it's showing question mark, which is not correct. I don't see any logout button so far. And I'm not able to click on this profile button. So this is something we need to fix. There are a few other important things. If you click on these 3 dots, you will see an option for connectors. And these are the connectors that you can authenticate once, and then your project can directly connect with these services when required. So for example, if you want to set up Stripe on your SaaS dashboard, you can open it, you can connect it, enter your details, and once the Stripe is connected, you can simply ask this agent over here to set up the Stripe payment flow on the dashboard. There are over 15 connectors that you can choose from. And by the way, as I was navigating through these tabs, it found one issue automatically. Let's click on this, and all we need to do is click on fix it. All right, so the issue is now fixed. So first of all, let's fix the issues we found. First one is icons in these tabs, and the second one is logout button. Let's give it this prompt. All right, so this is done, and now this profile button is clickable and I can see the logout button. Also, the icons are now fixed. So I want to test if the login functionality is working fine. This time, I'll give it an incorrect password, and it still went through, which is not correct. So let's ask it to fix the issue. All right, so it's done, and now let's try it again. I'll log out and log in again with an incorrect password, and this time it failed. Let me give the correct password, and we are in. So auth is now fixed. Now there are a couple of shortcuts that you can use in this chat. If you type @, you can select any file that you want to reference in the chat. You would rarely do that. And another one is /, which gives you pre-created prompts for various aspects of your dashboard. If you see anything is not correctly laid out on the dashboard, you can select layout and structure, and you can restructure screen layout, or you can add new element, remove screen, and so on. If you want to generate an image, you can select AI features and generate image. You can improve accessibility, language features, SEO, GEO, privacy and compliance, etc. Let me select this and enter. It's asking for the email that needs to be used in the privacy doc. Let's give it this one. And this is done. It has added GDPR CCPA compliance. Now, one important thing to note here is that you're not logged in this dashboard. You own this entire code and you can download it. Just click on code at the top, then click on this download code button, and it will download your entire repository that you can host anywhere you want. You can connect to GitHub over here and push this entire project to GitHub. You can also click on this device to view at the top, and you can see how it looks like on a mobile device. So now comes the final, most important aspect of this application, deploying it on cloud. And all you need to do is click on launch button at the top. And you can use a Rocket hosted domain, your custom domain, or you can purchase a new domain. You can authorize it, and then you will be able to access this application from your custom domain. For now, I'll use a Rocket's subdomain, and it's successfully published for staging. For production, you need to configure your domain. Let's copy this URL, and this is how it looks like. And if you want to add a new task going forward, you can open your project and describe your task over here, and it will have the complete context. So let me ask it to write a product hunt launch post and a cold email sequence targeting UK consumers. It is researching the competitor analysis deep dive report that we created earlier, and every task we create in this project writes its output into a shared context store. So new tasks will load it automatically, and you don't have to re-explain anything. And it is done. It has given the product hunt post, and I think it's a good quality post. If you want, you can pause the video and read it. It is targeting UK banks, UK regulations, and UK life. This is the first maker comment, and this is the cold email sequence. So email 1 on day 0, email 2 on day 4, email 3 on day 8, and email 4 on day 12. And they have made the collaboration very easy. So we can open the project, click on collaborators, and if I invite another user to this project as an editor, they'll receive an email so they can accept the invitation and log in using an email. And once they are in, they will see the projects that they were invited to. And here that user can see all the tasks. They can see the SubTrackr application that we created, the entire preview, and they can also make changes on top of it if they were invited as editor. And while building the application, you need to test the application thoroughly. Whether all the features are working fine or not, there will be some bugs, but you can easily fix those just by chatting with the agent. You can find the link in the description, and let me know in the comments if you have any questions and what do you think about this platform. If you found the video useful, don't forget to like the video and subscribe the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.